Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Hope that you are having a great day. I am ready to make a card with you. So when you get here, say hello. Let me know that you're here. And we will get started. Oh my goodness, first day of August. Does it even seem possible? I feel like the summer is flying by. So we have I have a few things to let you know about for August. You have until the end of this week, so Monday morning, all done, to jump into the cardstock share. I have a couple of spaces open, not too many. Hello. And so that's available. If you're not sure what that is or you want more information, you can just go to the blog. I think it's still right on the first page. If it's not, just click on blog and you can read about the cardstock share. What that means is you get one piece of every color that we have in 8.5 by 11. It gives you an incredible variety and you get to see all the colors. And I'm also including a copy, I've printed out, it's 7 pages of the Color Coach. And the Color Coach is this really cool thing that Stampin' Up! Put together that tells you like what colors kind of go together nicely. So it's kind of fun. The only thing I'm going to tell you is when you print, the colors in your printer are not always exactly perfectly. It's like a catalog. They're similar, but they're not exactly. So cardstock share ends Monday morning, early, like midnight Sunday. The Christmas Card Club, we had our first meeting on Tuesday. We will be meeting again in August. If you want to come to that, it's really pretty easy. You place a $50 order, and again, if you go to karamiller.com and click on Classroom, click on Classroom, you will see the Christmas Card Club. And it's July, August, and September. You place a $50 order and you get the whole packet, everything pre-cut, pre-embossed, ready for you to stamp for 5 different designs, 10 cards total, including your envelopes. So it's a pretty good deal. That's all free. So you just order your stuff from Stampin' Up!, place your $50 order using that host code, and then I send you the gift to say thank you. Oh, and we have a class too. It's really fun. And then I have one more thing to tell you about, and then we're going to go make a card. The one more thing I wanted to tell you about is this month, if you're not doing a club order, you're just placing an order, remember, use your bonus days coupon. If you place a $40 order, you will get, I am a part of a tutorial team. There's 14 other demonstrators and myself. I was asked to join when I was in Greece. They've been doing it a few months before me. And each month, one of us creates a card and writes the tutorial for it. So if you place a $40 order, sorry, too many numbers tonight. If you place a $40 order on my website, I will email you the PDF with all 15 cards. This is mine so that you can see. This is the one that I did. And here's our inside. This is done with, let me bring it over closer so that you can see it. It's done with Stampin' Blends. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it. I may have to do it on the down camera. Let me see. Might work better this way. No, I don't know. It's hard to see it, but it's got this texture. It's bumpy. It's got like this glossy coat on it. There it is. You can kind of see it. So all the instructions are there for that too. So you get 15 card tutorials when you place an order. It's just a little bonus for me to say thank you for being my customer. Okay? Tonight, that's from the Sail Away. Isn't it cool? And I just like this paper because it's so different. So this is the one I did, but if you look on my Facebook page, you'll see it. And it's in our Facebook pages too. They're little snippets to give you an idea of what all of the different cards look like. What's nice is my cards all tend to be similar. I have my style, I guess, whatever that is. So this gives you a variety because there's 14 other demonstrators, and they might have a different style than me. So it's kind of fun. It makes you have and you have all the instructions, you have everything so you can make them on your own. All right, so tonight, this is our card that we're making tonight. Simple, clean, but I love it. So what am I using? I am using the Silhouette Scenes. This is a really cute stamp set. If you've not looked at this one before, the quotes are great. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams by Thoreau. Life was meant for good friends and great adventures. Keep dreaming. You inspire me. Together is the perfect place to be. So if you've got some weddings coming up, there's really great kid silhouettes. That's the stamp set. I did not use the coordinating dies, but let me just show them to you quick. Everybody have a great Thursday. I was actually making cards today, so it was awesome. All right, so here are this great tree. Can you see this die? It is gorgeous. So the tree goes with the swing, right? So pretty. Okay, so there's that one. Then we also have Forever, Inspire, love it, Adventure, I said that really weird, and then this awesome dandelion. So these Thinlits dies are perfect, okay? And I haven't shown you this in a while. I love, love, love the Stampin' Storage magnetic sheets. These cards, you can use the less expensive ones. You can buy them, they go over heat ducts, and you can buy them in Home Depot and Lowe's, and you have to trim them down. But these are just so much better. I know, Patty, don't you love it? So beautiful. I actually didn't use it on this card, but I'm glad I popped these out to show you. So then we have Forever, Inspire. These are ones that you would use over and over and over again because they're just really cool. So, and then this just pops right inside in your stamp set. So that way I know what's together. Oh my goodness, Kathy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Was it the heat or we don't know? That's too bad. They do. They really do, Susan. The other ones are great. They're less expensive and they're good to get started. But I find that sometimes the dies fall off them. These, they don't. And these come in a pack. I don't know the pricing. I can post a link for you later. But Stampin' Storage is not a Stampin' Up! Product. It's just a company that makes things for stampers. Okay, so we are going to start with our card base. This was an 8.5 by 11, cut it in half, so now I have 5.5 by 4.25 once it's scored and folded. This is from the Magnolia Blossom Designer Series paper. I love this one. Love this color. This is Petal Pink. Either side is great, but I really like the simplicity of this card, so I'm going with kind of tone on tone. Pop that right in there. This is cut to 5.25 by 4. They do in a bundle, Patty. You can get them in a bundle. They go with it in that the tree lets you have something for the swing to come from, but they don't cut out the actual stamps. So they coordinate, but they're not the same. So there's our card base, easy peasy, just the base, some Designer Series paper. And then I told you when these came out, I was going to use these all the time. These are the stitched label, nested stitched label dies. Goodness. Debbie, you guys, so far, Mom's been good. But that's what these are, and I love them. So I am using this one, and I stamped a couple of these, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to show you and I don't know if you can see it, but I stamped with a block, and I got kind of a line in one, and I got a little bit of a blotch up here on the umbrella. I stamped with my Stamparatus, and I like the quality of my stamp much better. But I had stamped a bunch of these, and I kept trying to figure out which one I liked. I also found that if I use my Wink of Stella, if I had like a little line, it kind of blended it and forgave it. So you probably can't see very well. I keep spinning things. This has Wink of Stella on this. Patty, which ones do I use the most? I use these a ton, and I use the stitched circles and ovals. Any of the stitched ones I like. They just look so finished to me. Okay, so let's not make it ahead of time though. I'm going to have a piece of Whisper White, which is over here. And I'm going to stamp using my Stamparatus. And it doesn't really matter. I can do it this way, probably. No, let's go this way. So we make sure we don't run out of the paper. Okay. And I'm using Petal Pink. Now my Petal Pink is kind of, it looks weird on the pad, but it works great. And I'm going to ink up. The reason I love the Stamparatus is if there's something that doesn't come out exactly right, I can always go back and do it again. Now because I'm going to grab my magnet, that's another piece of this too. You want to be sure that your magnet is holding it in place in case you need to stamp it again. Because if not, then when you come back, the paper might have moved. The stitch dies, it's part of the Free as a Bird bundle. Where's my Free as a Bird? So there's that. And I'm going to zoom in for a minute for you to see the detail. Oh, I was playing with that birch one too, but I didn't use it on this one. Now see how her foot didn't come out exactly the way I want it, and the umbrella looks a little blotchy. That could be my stamp pad. It's a little juicy. But I'm just going to go back over it, and I'm going to stamp it again and see if I can't get them more even. This is a different one than some of our others because it's such a big space of ink. That looks much better, but that foot's still there. Now I like it. Okay? That's why this Stamparatus gizmo is so handy for stamps like this that are big. That's why the birch one is over here. I had that one out too. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. Because I was playing with that with the Stamparatus. We'll do that next week, later, Monday. Anywho, I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. And let's get this centered here. And run that on through. Sometimes it's because it's wet. If it's really an issue, you can always call them. If you think it's just not working the way you want, Stampin' Up! Is really good about standing behind something, so don't hesitate to call them if it's not exactly what you think it ought to do, if it's not performing the way you want. They may have some ideas for you, or they may simply replace it. Okay, so there's that. And I did not do anything fancy with this. I literally just glued this down with my snail, making sure it was kind of even. I used the lines on the paper to kind of help me. I could have used a dimensional, but I didn't. I just seriously just put this down. This is such a simple card, but it just looks really, I think, it looks really cool. Now, what other things could we have done with this before we put it down? Let me show you. Let me go back to my other samples that I had stamped over here. Let me run one of those through. And it'll give it a different look. I personally like the really clean, simple look, but let's try something else and see how it works. Okay, so there's that, right? I'm gonna grab my silicone sheet and my dauber. No, I don't have a dauber for every color, but I do have a collection sorting building up there. And ink this up, and I'm gonna do a little bit around the edge. I don't want to get too much because it's going to mess up my stamped image, but I want to give it a little something. Notice I'm kind of rubbing on the silicone before I hit, and I'm just grabbing the edge of the white. It is Petal Pink. Petal Pink does have kind of a coral tinge to it. And remember, I stamped that twice. So it makes it a little darker, but yep, it is. Honestly, that is one of the arguments with Petal Pink, that it is kind of orangey. So if you want a more pinky, Blushing Bride is more pinky. Debbie, I just throw them in a Ziploc. One of these days I'll get better. They could go in a stamp case, but then I wouldn't know which one they were. Yeah, I'm pretty new to this. Mary Lou, are you on here? Mary Lou's my Inky Genius inspiration. After you, Debbie. We'll have to ask. I forget what she does. I think she has like a little, like a tackle box. Feel like? I don't know, but I'll ask her. Okay. So there's that. Just a different look. Okay. So here's the clean and simple, and then this one, bring in a little bit of ink, looks a little bit cooler. Just a different look. You could also add some dimensionals to it. And then there's one more, oh, I don't want your little ones, I want big ones. And then there's one more thing I tried. I was kind of experimenting with different looks with it. Let me see if I can show you. The hard part is all these things are pretty subtle. And again, if you use different colors, you're going to get different looks. You could do your silhouette in darker colors. Right? If you take this, the fine tip glue, and where's the one I already did it on so I can show you? you can make little tiny raindrops on your umbrella and coming down. So let's do that with this one. This is the fine tip glue, and you're just gonna, it doesn't take much, just a dab. You know, this takes it a little bit to dry. And then we're just gonna, and it dries clear. The hardest part of this, it comes with this little tiny needle in the top. Yeah, that might work too, Debbie. I like that. Debbie throws hers in a drawer. We're still discussing ideas for how to store the daubers, and then you just make sure you put that right back in, and it keeps it from clogging. Pretty cool. Hey, Dolly. Okay, so now I have this rain on my couple. They're gonna dry over here. The next part is I used You Inspire Me, and I took this little excess piece that was left over, still using Petal Pink. And then I grabbed my 1-inch circle punch. Oops, I'm zoomed in too much, sorry. Let's get a happy medium here. So, You Inspire Me. Well, I know, I was trying to decide if they should get rained on or if it's raining over the umbrella, but then the rain between the umbrella and me, I would see it. I don't know. You have to think about yeah, how it looks. I can't think of the word I want. Perspective. Your perspective on what it is. So remember when you use a punch, if you turn it over, you can see what you're punching. And I'm going to punch You Inspire Me. Then this is now discontinued, but it's just my little tiny punch. It's the only thing I still have in my room that's not in the catalog or available, and it's because I don't have anything to replace it with, so I'm still using it. You could also, if you don't have one of these, you could use your paper piercer, which I'm going to stab myself with. No blood. You could use your paper piercer and your pad. Poke it through and kind of make a hole like so. Right? That works. If you still have this discontinued punch, you can use that, but it's really the same. Okay. Then I took some of the Swiss tulle. I love this. It's so pretty. And I put a little bit through the hole, and you just kind of have to poke it through with your scissors or your pokey tool. A little bit like that. And then you just tie a knot. Just one. You're thinking that looks hideous. Wait a minute, we're going to make it look pretty. So I've got it like this. I'm going to make sure that I bring the knot to the front and tie the bow. All right, so I want the knot on the front, not stuck behind it. Then take my snips, and I'm going to trim that on an angle. And trim this side too. And we are ready. Okay? Then we need a dimensional for sure on the back of this one. And that's going to go right here. And then I just took 3 of the little, goodness, I forget that I'm zoomed in, I'm sorry. Then I took, so it goes down here. Then I took 3 of the little metallic pearls and I just lined them up at the bottom. Then for my final touch, I brought in our Wink of Stella. And I very carefully winked up my image. You could also, if you wanted a different look, you could have added embossing on top of this. Remember, we've done that before. But I was trying to keep this card simple, and this works really well. Just a little bit of wink on the top. And when it dries, it just adds so much glimmer. So it's almost like you're painting it with the blends. And there you go. Right? Super easy, not a ton of steps involved really, but you get this really cool look. Now here's my little rained on couple. That's one idea with the You Inspire Me right there. And here was our inspiration card that I made before you got here. I do too, Vicki. It's my favorite. But honestly, I didn't know anything about it until Stampin' Up! And all you ladies taught me all your cool stamping tricks. Back in the Cricut day, I didn't know anything about it. All right, everybody, have an awesome weekend. I hope you get to do some really fun things with families and friends and enjoy your stuff. Oh, Kathy, I don't like the gold either. I like the clear. Gold is discontinued now too. So must be lots of us didn't like the gold. The gold, I think the gold makes it look tacky. I just don't like it. But I love the clear. Try the clear. All right, have a great weekend. Remember, if you wanted to get in on the cardstock share, make sure you do that this weekend. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.